I'm going to roll through these now, guys. Remember, you should have done these already. If you haven't, try a problem, pause the video, try another one, pause the video. Come on, you got to make sure you're trying these before you watch it. All right, so 72, 9 times 8, 3, 3, there's a pair, 8's 4 times 2, 4 is 2 times 2. All right, so I'm taking out a 3 and a 2. That's 6 times 5 is 30. And p to the 11th, well, that's going to be PP, 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 and P. So I have 5 of those P's. P to the 5th comes out. Left over 2, yes, left over 2, and left over P, left over 2P. 30P to the 5th radical 2P, final answer. Next one, 54, 9 times 6, 9 is 3 times 3, and 6 is 3 times 2. This is a cubic root. See the 3 there that I just crossed out for you? That means you need a group of 3, So there we go. I do that right? Yep, okay. And a to the 7th, A, left over A. I have 2 groups of 3, and then B to the 12th, B, 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 B. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so what's coming out? We have a 3 coming out. We have 2 A's coming out, A squared coming out. And we have 4 B's coming out, B to the 4th coming out. What's left? Cubic root 2A. 2A, that's what's left over. All right. And remember here, let's see, we're going to have, well, okay, so this is radical 40, A to the 5th over radical 3. Let's simplify the radical first, then you have to rationalize the denominator. So this is going to be, break down the 40, 20 times 2, and then 10 times 2, and then 5 times 2. But the 5 times 2, you ain't going to do anything there. So there's a pair of 2's. So there's a 2 coming out, 2 coming out. A. We have A squared coming out. And we have leftover 10A. Leftover 10A over radical 3. Now, you can't leave a radical in the denominator. So, if you have that, 2A squared radical 10A over radical 3, you have to multiply by radical 3 to get rid of that radical. So your final answer is going to be 2A squared radical 30A. Radical 30A over 3. Just 3. Radical 3 times radical 3 is 3. So that would be your final answer there. All right, moving on. Number 2. This was the typo. This should have just been 27x, not 27x squared. So that's, make sure you fix that. All right, we're going to factor by grouping here. So we take out an x squared, 3x plus 4. We take out a negative 9, 3x plus 4. We're going fast because, again, you should have done this already. 3x plus 4 is my common binomial factor. We've been doing this all year. I hope we're good at this by now. And then factoring completely means that you got to make sure you can't factor anymore. Of course, x squared minus 9 can go to x plus 3x minus 3. So there you go. There are your factors. This one here, we're going to come up with, there's no common factor, so we're going to do 2 binomials. 3xx. And then, let's see, it comes out to be 8 and 2, I believe. Minus. Yep, because I have minus 8x and minus 6x. That's our negative 14x, so that works out there. Make sure you show that minus 8x and that minus 6x. That shows you the minus 14x there. So those are your factors right here. Determine the product. Okay, so remember, it might help you to do the tabular method here. Otherwise, I'm just going to do the distributive. So that's going to be 6 radical 4. And then this to here is going to be minus 9 radical 2. And then this to here is going to be plus 10 radical 2. And then this to here is minus 15. 6 radical 4, guys, that's 6 times 2. That's 12. This is 12 right here. 12 minus 15 is negative 3. And then add those and you get plus 1 radical 2. So negative 3 plus radical 2. Negative 3 plus radical 2 there. And then when you square, when you square the binomial, when you square any binomial, you have to write it twice. All right, so that's going to be distributive again. 49 minus 14 radical x, and then here I have minus 14 radical x again, and then here I have plus 4 radical x squared. Now, radical x squared is just x. So this gives me 49 minus 28 radical x, and then I have this guy here, which is plus 4x. And I have no like terms, so I am done. Very sorry for that. Struggling here. All right, so here we go. Breaking down our radicals again. This is going to be 10 radical 6. Break it down the same way we did in the other examples. This is going to be 6 radical 10 minus radical 2 over radical 3. Now, you can't leave a radical in the denominator, so we need to rationalize this. It's going to give me 10 radical 6 plus 6 radical 10 minus radical 6 over just 3. Now I need to combine, but I have to have a common denominator. So put these all over 1, or over 1 right now. So we're going to go times 3, times 3, times 3, times 3. All right, so new problem. 30 radical 6 over 3 plus 18 radical 10 over 3 minus radical 6 over 3. I can only combine like terms. My radical 6's can combine. 30 minus 1. 30 minus 1 is going to be 29 radical 6. And then I have to just put plus 18 radical 10. You can't combine because they're not the same radicals. All over 3. And that's going to be my final answer there. I can't do anything else with that. This is a review problem. Write a fourth degree function in factored form. So I'm going to go f of x equals. Looking for 4 factors. 4 factors. The problem is I only have 3 roots. X equals 5 is x minus 5 as a factor. X plus 2. And then x plus 4. Remember, you write the opposite basically is going to be the factor. Now, I need a 4th degree function. This is only a 3rd degree function. You're going to have to make one of these a multiplicity, so I'm going to have to throw a square on one of those. It doesn't matter which one. There's multiple answers. See how it says write a 4th degree function? Yours might be different from mine. You might have squared the x plus 2, or someone else might have squared the x plus 4. It's fine, as long as you have one of them there. Determine the product of this and its conjugate. Okay. The product of this and its conjugate. So we're testing conjugate here. Conjugate is just change the sign in between the terms. Just the sign in between. You're going to have distractors on your quiz that are gonna mess you up. You just change the sign in between. This times this. 25 radical 9m squared. Okay, now the conjugates, the outer and the inner products are going to cancel, so it's just negative 2 times 2 is minus 4. It's all you have to do for conjugates. Now these are perfect squares here. This is going to be 25 times 3m. So that's going to be 75m minus 4. That's it. Given that x equals 5 as a solution, remember there was another mistake here. This should have been minus 22x. Minus 22x. So we're going to do our synthetic division here. 1, 1, negative 22, negative 40. Okay, bring down the 1. That's going to be 5, 6, 30. Add down 8. 5 times 8, 40, because that's got to come out to be a 0. All right, so here we go. The 1 means 1x squared. The 6 means plus 6x. The 8 means plus 8. So I have x squared plus 6x plus 8. And I want to find solutions, so I need to factor x plus 4, x plus 2, x equals negative 4 and negative 2. So my other two solutions are negative 4 and negative 2. Those other two solutions they're talking about. Expressed with a rational denominator. Remember, if you have a binomial, you have to multiply by the conjugate. 3 minus radical 6. All right. So you might want to set up two tables. Do the tabular method twice. Otherwise, try to follow along. 5 times 3 is 15. 5 times negative radical x. Radical 6. Negative 5 radical 6. 2 radical 6 times 3 is minus 6 radical 6. The 3 times the 2 only. You can't times it times the radical. And then negative 2 radical 6 times negative radical 6 is positive 2 radical 36. We'll clean that up after. 3 times 3, 9. Radical 6 times radical 6 is just 6. 9 minus 6. Positive times a negative is a negative. All right. 2 times, this is 6 right here. 2 times 6 is 12. 15 and 12, 27. Minus 11 radical 6. These combined for negative 11. Over 3. Dunzo. All right, so for number 9, we're going to bring in our graphing calculator. Now, if you don't have one with you, hopefully you did this in class. And if not, just pay close attention. Know the keystrokes. You might want to write the keystrokes down to help you. All right, so I already typed these in to save us time. We have f of x, x squared minus 6x plus 2, and p of x is negative 2x plus 5. We're solving the system equations graphically using the intersect command. So we're going to type our functions in the y equals. We're going to go to zoom, 6, that's a standard window, and see if that works. And if it does, that's great. If not, we'll adjust it. We know how to do window fitting. We know how to change our window if need be. It looks like we're going to be good, though. There's our parabola, and there's our line. So we can get the intersection of those using the intersect command. So it's second, write this down, second trace, and you go to intersect. That's because there's two functions, the intersection of the functions. And then go to one of the intersections. So see the cursor right here? Okay, there's my cursor. On the left there, that intersection point there, you just hit enter 3 times. Boom, boom, boom. And it says intersection right there. If you can't read it, I'll write it for you. It's negative point. Oh, this thing I gotta make it so it stays on. Always in front. There we go. All right, so it's negative 0.65 to the nearest hundredth. Negative 0.65 is the x value, and the y value is 6.29. And then there's another point, right? So we'll do it again. Second, trace, intersect. And then we go all the way to the other side. Get as close as you can to that intersection and hit enter 3 times. First curve, second curve, guess. That's why you're hitting enter 3 times. All right, and there is our other point. So it's 4.65 and negative 4.29. Negative 4.29. And there is that's the solution. Use an algebraic method to solve. Okay, so we're going to do quadratic formula because I'm not going to be able to factor that. Negative b, negative 7. B squared, 7 squared, minus 4ac. A is negative 2, c is 5. all over 2a, 2 times negative 2. All right, x equals negative 7 plus minus. If you clean this up, you clean that up right there, you end up with, where am I at? 49 plus, what's that, 40? 89 over negative 4, and then I'm ready for my calculator. Now, either put this in parentheses or type them in separately, the top divided by negative 4. You'll get x equals negative 0.61 and 4.11. Number 11, we need to solve the system algebraically. Okay, so what we have, again, this is a circle on a graph. It's a circle. And then there's a line that goes through the circle. So we're trying to find the 2 points of intersection of the line and the circle they gave us. Not on a graph, algebraically. How do you do it? Well, you would get the the linear equation, the y equals 2x plus 1, to have one of the variables all by itself. We already have that. We already have the y all by itself. Now, on your quiz, maybe you won't have the y all by itself, or maybe you won't have the x all by itself. You need to make sure you have that. Okay, so y equals 2x plus 1. So we're going to take, here's our y, and we're going to put in 2x plus 1. So again, we're going to take x plus 4 squared plus y plus 2 squared equals 25. And we're going to take out the y. We're going to take out that y and replace it with this 2x plus 1. Y, 2x plus 1. And why are we doing that? Because y equals, if you look up here, right? Y equals 2x plus 1. So that's the substitution. Take out the y and put in 2x plus 1. Now we're going to do some math, right? Some algebra. X plus 4 squared is x plus 4 times x plus 4. This is 2x plus 3. 2x plus 3. And see, the 1 plus 2 is 3. And it's squared, so there's 2 of those. Equals 25. Now we got to multiply this out. X squared plus 8x plus 16. Okay, that was tabular method or whatever, however you want to do it. This one's going to be 2x times 2x is 4x squared plus 6x and another 6x. So it's actually going to be 12x and then plus 9. All right. This is a lot of algebra here. X squared and x squared, I'm sorry, x squared and 4x squared is 5x squared. 8x and 12x is 20x. 16 and 9 is 25. I'll write that out. Equals 25. Now 25s are going to just cancel out. Subtract 25 from both sides. And you get this equals 0. Equals 0. I'll write that out. 5x squared plus 20x equals 0. Now I need to factor. So how do I factor this? There's a common factor. 5x can be taken out. X plus 4. Set my factors equal to 0. 5x equals 0. X plus 4 equals 0. Divide by 5, divide by 5. X equals 0. Subtract 4. X equals negative 4. So x is 0 and x is negative 4. Now I'm going to go over here and find my y's. Well, I already know that y equals 2x plus 1. So I'm going to use that. Y equals 2x plus 1. Y equals 2x plus 1. I know that x is 0. Y equals 2 times 0 plus 1. Y equals 1. Y equals 2 times negative 4 plus 1. That negative 4 right there, right? Plug it in for x. Y equals negative 7. So my solution is going to be 0, 1. 0, 1 is one intersection point, and negative 4, negative 7. -4, -7 is the other intersection point. There is my solution to our system. All right, a couple more here and then we're going to be done. Solve and check for extraneous solutions. Make sure you check. Radical 24 minus 2x equals, and then I have subtract 3. X minus 3 is going to be 8. Square both sides. So I have 24 minus 2x equals. Now, x minus 8 squared is x minus 8 times x minus 8. That's going to require some work. X squared minus 8x plus 64. My bell's going to ring here in a little bit, so just ignore that. X squared minus 16x plus 64. So now, remember, quadratic, get everything equal to 0. Add 2x, bring that over, minus 24, add 2x. X squared, add 2x, minus 14x. Subtract 24 plus 40. All right, so I'm going to factor this. 8, what are we going to do? 10 and 4. X minus 10, x minus 4. That's a good one. Yeah, 40 and then 14. There we go. X minus 10, x minus 4. X equals 10 and x equals 4. Do they both work? 2 times 10 is 20. 24 minus 20 is 4. Radical 4 square root of 4 is 2. 2 plus 3 is 5. And 10 minus 5 is, yes, that does work. That works. Plug in a 4. 24 minus 8 is 16. Radical 16 is 4. 4 plus 3 is 7. This is 7, but then 4 minus 5 is not 7. So this does not work. When you plug the 4 in there, you might want to actually do it to see that it doesn't work. The 10 works and the 4 does not. So my solution set will be the set containing just 10. Nice review problem here. So you have to do x squared over 3 minus 12 over 1. Get those to be one fraction. Times 3 times 3. X squared minus 36 over 3. Okay, that's good. Now this one I have, just going to do it over here, change colors. X plus 10. There's my bell. Plus, okay, now common denominator here is going to be 6x. So times x times x times 6 times 6. So here, and again, this is divided by, this is divided by. I'm going to distribute x squared plus 10x and then plus 24 over 6x. So now I'm ready to divide. Well, I divide by keep, switch, flip. Keep, switch, flip. So I'm going to flip this guy here times 6x over x squared plus 10x plus 24. All right, so now I'm multiplying. So now I'm going to multiply, or I'm going to factor and cancel. Not cancel, reduce, right? So it's going to be x plus 6, x minus 6 over 3 times 6x over, and you might want to write that as 2 times 3 times x. That might help to see that a 3 reduces. And then this is going to be x plus 6, x plus 4. All right, so I reduce to 1, x plus 6. 3's cancel. So I have 2x times x minus 6 over x plus 4. And that is done. All right, 2x over times x minus 6 over x plus 4. And last one, last but not least, oh yes, our system with 3 variables. All right. So what we're going to do, and I did this one already, but I just want to, you could tell that you have a z dropout. If you just take these first 2 equations, first of all, okay, the z's drop right out. Don't do that on your paper. Write them separately. But I'm being lazy here. But I can get a nice equation out of that. I can get 5x. And I get minus 3y equals 22. So I got one equation. I'm all set up there for a two-variable system. But now I got to go back to my original here, and I got to get something else to drop out. I have a 2z. If I can multiply this equation now by 2, watch what, and disregard this one for now. That's going to give me 6x plus 4y minus 2z equals 34. And I'll carry down my last equation there. So look at that. My 2z's drop out. 10x plus y equals 51. All right, so now I can put that up here. 10x plus y equals 51. So here's my system. Looks like we're starting over again. Two-variable system. All right, so we're going to do that. 5x, 5. You know what? Let's do it right up here. I got minus 3y, I got y. Let's do times 3. And again, if you didn't do yours this way, there's tons of ways to do these systems. So yours might not look like mine. That's okay. Maybe yours was you did a little harder. Maybe it took longer. All right, so I have 5x minus 3y equals 22. And I now have 30x plus 3y equals 153. And now my y's drop out, giving me 35x equals 175. Divide by 35. And x equals 5. That's correct. All right, if x equals 5, why don't I take this guy right here? All right, let's do that. 5 times 5, because x is 5, minus 3y equals 22. 25 minus 3y equals 22. Negative 3y equals, subtract 25, you get negative 3, so y equals positive 1. And if I know x and y, I can go back to my original system. My original system was, take my original system, 2x minus 5y plus z, which is what I still need, equals 5. And I know x and y now. 2 times 5 minus 5 times 1 plus z equals 5. 10 minus 5 plus z equals 5. 5 plus z equals 5. So z must equal 0. So my system is 5, 1, 0. 5, 1, 0. X is 5, y is 1, z is 0. I have writer's cramp. I don't know about you. See you in class for the quiz tomorrow.